Anything going on in the news lately? United States, around the world, any current events? Nothing, right? Nada. I know. Such a slow news time. I mean, really. That's why I've been so MIA the last few days. Just kidding. Okay, let's get caught up. Trump drops the F bomb and it's heard all over the world. What is going on? There's never a slow news week when President Trump is president. Are you kidding me? There's not a slow news minute. This guy keeps it moving to make America great again. So, what's been going on recently? Well, he gave the ultimatum, as you know, to Iran and Israel. And those two silly gooses, they just didn't listen, right? Thought we were going to have a ceasefire, and then Trump just wanted to fire both of them because they were like kids on a playground, only they're playing with bombs and destroying people. President Trump was like that dad on a vacation. If you kids don't get along and start having fun right now, I'm turning the car around. And so that's what Trump did. That's what President Trump did. That's what a good leader does. He drew boundaries. Yes, many of us voted for Trump because he doesn't like war. I think many of us can agree none of us like war. If you like war, I think you're a sociopath. But unfortunately, sometimes drawing the line is necessary. If somebody keeps hitting you, you're not going to, oh, just please, can you please stop? Can you please stop? No, sometimes you have to draw the line and say, stop it, knock it off, and now. I mean business. So that's what Trump did. He had B-52 fighter jets going in and, as Trump said, obliterated Iran's ability to create a nuclear bomb, which was the entire mission. And these brave pilots that completed this very intense, very dangerous, and precise mission. They did it perfectly. Trump wants peace. This is what people don't understand. But sometimes in order to have peace, you have to do it through strength. When I tell my daughter over and over to listen, sometimes when they just don't continue to listen, a child, or in this case, countries, you have to get tough. Watch when Trump dropped the F-bomb when he was sick of it, before they actually did decide to finally cease fire. Watch.
Reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it. Okay? I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean.
you don't believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program?
Well, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers. You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
That Iran violated the peace agreement, the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel was committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
And there it was, the F-bomb. I said worse when I stubbed my toe this morning. And I don't know, the pressure this guy has, I'll tell you what I actually am surprised by. I'm actually surprised he hasn't dropped more F-bombs. Now, we know that today the developing story is that they have finally agreed to a ceasefire, Israel and Iran. But President Trump is keeping an eye. He's like, I'm watching you because he is for peace and well-being for everyone all around the world, ultimately. But the United States of America is who he is president for. So, of course, America first. It's crazy how CNN, constantly negative news, I like to call it, just wants to spin everything to keep their base, I guess the Democratic base, just up in arms and fearful so that we all can be divided against. And they're splintering off. Even the Democratic Party is splintering off. The Republican Party is splintering off. And so really, we just have to come back to baseline of common sense. And in my opinion, that's why President Trump is a strong leader, because he just comes back to that baseline. He understands that he has to draw strong boundaries in order for peace. Watch what Mark Rubio has to say today at the NATO meetings.
I think President Trump has shown a willingness to meet and talk to anybody in the world who's interested in peace. I don't know of any president that's been as willing as he has to meet with anyone and talk about peace. We'd love to have peaceful relations with any country in the world. And so obviously that'll depend on Iran's willingness not just to engage in peace, but to negotiate directly with the United States, not through some third country or fourth country process. But I know of no president, probably in our modern history, that's sought peace more than President Trump has.
And that is the truth, in my opinion. But let me know in the comments below, what is your opinion? Do you believe that President Trump has an intention for peace? But sometimes, like any good parent knows, you have to draw strong boundaries. And when enough is enough, you have to get tough. Now, Trump is probably dropping more than one F-bomb today because he's taken to Truth Social. And as you know, he's not shy about letting us know how he really feels about constantly negative news and the likes, MSDNC, and anybody else a part of the fake news who's actually trying to destroy America. I really don't understand why they would spin everything to be so negative. You would add credibility to if sometimes you gave credit where credit's due and didn't just spin it to be some negative news cycle story. But that's what CNN does. That's what MSDNC does. And that's why President Trump has taken to Truth Social today. Read this. He says, Natasha Bertrand should be fired from CNN. I watched her for 3 days doing fake news. She should be immediately reprimanded and then thrown out like a dog. She lied on the laptop from hell story, and now she lied on the nuclear site story, attempting to destroy our Patriot pilots by making them look bad when in fact they did a great job and hit pay dirt, total obliteration. She should not be allowed to work at fake news CNN. It's people like her who destroyed the reputation of a once great network. Her slant was so obviously negative. Besides, she doesn't have what it takes to be an on-camera correspondent. Not even close. Fire Natasha. So, how do you really feel, Mr. President Trump? And then he's probably dropping some F-bombs again because he also posted this on Truth. It's finally happened. The Democrats have crossed the line. Zohan Mandari, sorry, I'm pronouncing that wrong, 100% communist lunatic, has just won the Dem primary and is on his way to becoming mayor. We've had radical lefties before, but this one is getting a little ridiculous. He looks terrible. His voice is grating. He's not very smart. He's got AOC plus 3 dummies all backing him. And even our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, is groveling over him. Yes, this is a big moment in history of our country. So there is lots that President Trump might be given F-bombs over, but the reason he is a good leader and the reason I'm happy that he is president is because he can sift through all this and he can handle all this. Now, some people do say that he's a narcissist. I have unfortunately had a lot of experience with narcissists and have studied narcissism. I think to be president, you do have to have a little bit of some narcissistic traits because that's a tough job. And you have to have a really big ego to be able to do it. Do I think he is an actual narcissist? No, I don't. I do think President Trump has empathy. I think he's displaying his empathy through strength. I do think that he's the best person for this job, but man, it's tough. I'd be dropping F-bombs all day long. If you agree, please subscribe. If you don't agree, subscribe. Either way, I'll be dropping F-bombs. But I'm more interested to know what you think. I am pro-peace. And yet, as a mom, as a MAGA mama, I know that sometimes you have to draw some really tough boundaries, things that maybe you don't even want to do, but you have to do. And as president, I know he has to do things like this all the time. It's the biggest job, well, definitely in the United States, quite possibly the world, because his decisions influence the whole world. What do you think about his decisions this week? Do you think Natasha should be fired? Do you think Gavin Newsom should be fired? Newsome. I always mess up his name. It's Newsome, let's be honest. Watch what he did this week in this quick short. And let me know in the comments below about all of this feedback. I want to know. Oh, and Whoopi Goldberg thinks that the United States is just as bad as Iran. What is going on? This place is cray-cray. So much love to you. Thanks for being here. Bye.